Okay. So, Alex, we had a few discussions on the morning session about each of the points. The one that is lagging behind the most is guidelines and templates for Python code base, but then we'll start working on this next week. Um, is there like what I suggest now is looking at the documentation that we wrote on the past few days, a few weeks, and try to identify the gaps. Like instead of looking at points specifically, because now we are in a tunnel vision. When we start working too much on something, we enter the tunnel vision and like we don't see the whole thing as it's like as a big thing. It's good now to take a step back and see where we are at and whether we are going to the right direction. So Tatiana had some good points on the structure of the guidelines on how to get started, but this can go for other things as well.
Yeah, I would
Uh,
volunteer if you actually can go through the documentation for the code review and maintainership because right now there is kind of not documentation, but there is a structure. So I
mhm.
wonder if you can actually look on it and Alex as well and check if it's missing something.
Like
And
right now?
Alex, I don't know,
Yeah, sure.
but
But
Alex, yeah, sorry.
sorry.
You also said in the past that you're interested in this topic, so I wonder if you also can kind of
Yeah,
collaborate.
I was busy with some other work, but yeah, I'm happy to help you. I just would like to understand how to help you exactly, because so many
Yeah.
moving parts right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do you want to go through the code review guidelines, Tatiana? This is what you wanted to do?
If you're like, you just say that we
Sure.
should find the gaps, so I thought that you were just proposing to do it right now.
It could be. I was asking general, but we could do it now as well. We already discussed a lot of the points in the morning, so
Yep.
this is a good use of this time and thing. Uh, okay, so I try to keep the the starting page small and link to the sub pages so that it's I don't know, less bloated to go through what you're looking for.
I have a question. Why it doesn't have like sub? Um,
Here,
yeah, it doesn't
maybe
open, this.
because you need to go to another project that holds the navigation, and over there is how you define. So it's a matter of doing. It's not
Mm,
automatic.
okay, interesting.
Yeah. Writing consistent count basis. Is this the no? This is the style guide. This one.
Mm, yeah.
Okay.
So I would expect that the style guide, like basically this thing that you have to know, like use tabs instead of white spaces, all of the things, it will be defined by this code creation style guide that like basically this either topic that Dan is working on, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then basically the code review, it's more kind of to define the process for maintainers to become maintainers and understand what they do, and then kind of reference them to this guide.
Yeah. Exactly. So the current state is you have how to find a reviewer. Uh,
Yep.
maybe we can define the section how to integrate with the reviewer roulette. Maybe we can make it easier. And okay, there is a work item. How to find a project to review.
This is addressing what you said. That there's a problem that some Python experts they want to review the code in different, like help with review in different projects, but sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it's not very visible. What kind of projects do we have? Uh,
Maybe we can have a list of Python projects somewhere.
yeah, maybe this is actually will be the most boring solution. Just list them.
I think
Yeah.
we store this list somewhere as well already. I mean, not only for
Really?
Python, but in general.
We
Like,
have
go ahead.
we have this like on the code review page.
Mm.
There's some of this like long list of the like all of the reviewers and maintainers for the projects. Um, but they, I guess, I feel the kind of, like this is a good point. I need to check because I thought that it's kind of generated automatically. There's all of the projects which actually have code review and review roulette enabled, and the information actually comes from there.
Hmm.
But and they like the question is like that a lot of projects in Python they don't have review roulette enabled, but maybe this is also kind of get good point to mandatory force everybody to use it.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So,
having this list would be also great because we have a lot of outdated Python projects that we created and then we just don't need them right now or we merge them. So yeah, it's like
mhm.
probably we have this list somewhere auto-generated, but at the same time having like this list of approved projects also would be great.
Mhm.
I mean, that's we don't have. I think we have around 5 projects right now. Yeah,
Yep.
giveaway.
For me, to be honest, I tried to actually to make a list to understand what is the
Yeah,
landscape,
5, 6 projects.
and it
Yeah.
was quite hard to understand because then you're like, okay, from the library, I know workflow, if it's a real project, also makes sense. But then there is this other small stuff, and you don't really know if it's actually
Oh, that's
somebody
true. Yeah.
using or not.
But then this is also part of the code creation guidelines, right? So when you create a Python project, add a name to the documentation of Python projects so that other people know that that actually is a Python project.
Yeah, yeah.
And then for the maintainers is, okay, this is the list of Python projects. Can we go through and look? I would even put the list of Python projects right over here at the main page. So this is the current list of Python projects that we use, and then a list of all of them and the path. And so then on the code review mentorship guidelines says, please go to projects. Those are the projects that could benefit from review.
Mhm. I just have one small question. If I understand, there are some teams in infrastructure who also use Python, right? So it's data
Yeah.
science plus infrastructure. Okay.
So this is more like like infrastructure would fall into this category.
Mm-hmm.
Data science, not so much. But
Mm-hmm.
the or like this is the developer side of Python, not so much the data science part of Python, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh, but we can
No.
evolve eventually to include the data science part.
I mean, data science as the name of the stage department.
Okay. Ah, yeah. The MLOps, which is now the MLOps team. They have now, yeah, they have one Python project now.
Okay.
So, okay, we need that. So that's a good point. Yep, got this one. Code reviews and mentorship guidelines. Okay, so uh, general maintainer responsibilities, strong experience with the Python frameworks. Okay, commonly used frameworks.
Do you
Uh,
think what do you think? Do we need to include something like gRPC because of the workflow?
I think we might include a gRPC, yes, if you are reviewing
Yeah,
workflow.
that's the thing. So you see, we probably I don't know. Do we need to specify? So we have some frameworks that are that are specific for some projects, right? So Fast API, this is
Hmm.
gRPC, this is the workflow service, right? And but if you let's say work with centralized solution for a work ELI5, doesn't matter where data sets, you mainly need Langsmith and Pydantic.
Hmm. I think not a palace, but a place in each project
What?
that
I mean,
specifies.
we're supposed to have like each project is supposed to have this maintainership or like code review.
Yeah,
There's
page.
supposed to be the file like
Yeah.
set, and it can define. I was also thinking that I'm not sure, I don't remember if it's actually in the structure of the file of this file. of the documentation. I think that we also need this kind of like a checklist, like template for the becoming a maintainer for Python, and maybe it have to be customized by the specific projects.
I think we can have a single checklist for everything because even like, for example, the interview training, it has the subdivisions of, okay, you are doing a front-end interview, so this is the steps that you need to follow. So we can have the same for a single becoming a maintainer checklist. And also like we could be like be familiar with the special technologies in the project you are building. And I think on AI Gateway, do we have a maintainership document? We have a README? No, we don't have a contributor. No, we don't have a contributor guideline,
No,
contributing guideline.
it's there was a small page somewhere, but it was just mainly you have to review 3 or 5 MRs, nothing else.
Yeah, here, this one.
Yeah, this one, yeah.
So this is a good thing. Like for example, we can link this. We can make through the Python creation project well, a consistent place where this will be like maintainership.md at the root folder, and then go to this place to find out more about the uh, the spice for and unique maintainership guidelines. Okay, I'll become the maintainer checklist that you mentioned. How to become a maintainer. That's what's missing, and code review best practices.
Yeah, it might be just kind of. I think right now it should be just a link to the normal code review practices, like be nice, and we already have it. And also we need to probably link to this code style document.
Yeah.
That's all. It shouldn't be kind of no new information there.
Yeah.
But like also
So,
it says encourage to pay attention to these specific areas, but I think it's already overlaps with the maintainer responsibilities because it's already
yeah,
mentioned there.
exactly. How to become a maintainer. We can have a baseline maintainership process for all projects. Like this is the minimum that you have to go through, and then have this file of maintainership.md with project specific steps that need to be completed, right?
I would.
Yeah, that sounds great.
I think it's like there's this with this maintainership thing with the smaller like not Rails monolith projects in GitLab. There is a problem is people who started it like it's a new project, they don't have enough time capacity to develop a specific process for their needs. So they usually use this 5 kind of whatever is defined in GitLab for the small projects, but it doesn't kind of serve good purpose, I would say. And also from the maintainer side, it's not clear what you exactly need to do. So kind of my goal is to clarify these 2 things, to just allow like actual owners and maintainers of the projects to copy paste something, so then they can bootstrap the maintainership process very quickly, and for maintainers to kind of confidently start being
Yeah.
maintainers.
It makes sense. Maybe that's just something that you copy into the repository itself that is the base for the maintainership process, and then each project completes with data specific for the one.
Yeah, kind of like a template. Yeah, and then they can just
Yeah.
add more stuff if they need.
Hmm. I don't think, yeah, and we need a list of Python projects, that's for sure. This is something we need visibility on what's out there.
Mm.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good.
And
Anything
also,
else?
I also considering that we need to like if you remember in the past I was telling about the Go have this pool of reviewers and it's actually attached to their Rails project, but it's a bit like nobody kind of use it. But I still think that for Python it might be, I'm kind of considering actually that we might actually need it. And the only way to kind of to make it work is to add everybody as a kind of reviewers or maintainers uh, to maybe to the GitLab projects to kind of create this visibility for people. And then, as a kind of side effect, we can actually mark all of these maintainers as owners of this particular page. So then they can
Hmm.
actually approve the changes for these guidelines and kind of be actual maintainers of these guidelines as well.
Hmm. Yeah, you said it, it's something we should go for, right? Like the common pool of maintainers.
Yeah, I
Or
was first like kind of when I started checking how in Go how it's done in GitLab for Go pull reviewers of sorry pool of Golang reviewers. I kind of found this was not very efficient, so I decided that we don't need it. But I kind of still start thinking that actually this is might be good things to have.
yeah, even if it's just for the first review. Like the first review goes to the large pool, and the maintainer review goes to the project pool.
The problem is that like our review this will be ideal. This is what I wanted to do, but it's not possible with review roulette. And I try to bring people who knows how to the code of the danger and say it's not possible. You can't have two like rules for the review roulette from two different projects.
Hmm.
Basically you just can't. You need to change the code, and it's I don't have time for it to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah. So it's like it will be a maintainer pool and a reviewer pool for all Python.
Yeah, so you can have like for example this maintainer or like pool on GitLab project, and on GitLab project, I mean this Rails monolith, we don't have any Python code there. It's kind of nobody will review anything there, but you can actually use this tool to,
Hmm.
for example, to make maintainers for this particular, for example, for this particular page for guidelines, for Python
Hmm.
guidelines. And also, it also kind of creates some visibility for Python
Yeah,
experts in a company. But then it will be, think it's better if each project actually have their like if they if the big enough projects have their own pool of reviewers and
yeah.
maintainers.
It can be that it starts with the general pool, and then the biggest projects, like you say, go to their own pool and they change the process a bit. Like this can happen. But it's nice to have an initial pool.
Yeah.
Um,
We
okay, makes sense.
don't have so many reviewers right now, so maybe having one pool at the beginning will be fine.
Yeah,
Like the only difference probably is workflow, right?
yeah. The workflow, but the only difference in workflow is the gRPC, right? Or is there many other differences over the other?
gRPC plus executor, which is in Golang.
Okay, okay, but then the executor is a different thing. No,
Yeah,
but
I
it's
mean, but I mean, if you work with the service, you also need to understand the executor. At least,
okay.
like, you don't need to understand the full code base, but at least you need to understand, this high-level API.
Mm-hmm.
So, uh, yeah, and also because workflow relies on LangGraph a lot, and we don't have LangGraph in EI Gateway. But I mean, technically, it's all about the same because LangGraph, LangChain, they use the same interface, the runnable interface. But still, still need to know how to work with LangGraph to review more
Yeah.
efficiently.
And this is where this point comes in. Like
Yes.
even if we have a pool of common reviewers, being familiar with each of the project, like with the ideas. And I think it's very beneficial to have a pool um, of the same reviewers because then it speeds up the consolidation. If I'm reviewing code across different repositories, it's easier for me to see where it's going different or try to push into a
Hmm.
convergence
Yep.
eventually. Um, right now, it is the most difficult time to have a pool of reviewers across projects because now it's where the projects have diverged. But if we can, with this documentation, with the patterns that we're introducing, with a consistent style, it becomes much, much easier.
Yep. And
Yeah.
Because
it's
even on Rails side, like, okay, I'm reviewing code from security. I don't know a lot about security, but I'm maintaining the code base over there. I need to go and look for additional information or read the issues, find out about something.
That's
Um,
that's how you learn new things. That's great.
yeah,
That's where I agree with you. But you see, at the same time, would be also great to have their last review from the project maintainer, just to make sure that you you reviewed all the things, you know.
we can actually go to bit deep because like as I said, it's impossible to have like two pools from the technical perspective. We can actually overcome it a bit different way. We can make people ask them to be like experts. So everybody are like maintainers. Like this is like one pool of maintainers. But then, like you are like expert on workflow, and I'm expert on AI gateway. So people will select me for AI gateway review and you for workflow, kind of like that. It kind of will be more manual step because, like again, this is what we do in Rails as well. You are having like a quote and like it's have a lot of the business logic, and you understand that I want review from this particular team and you just ask them and you kind of
yeah.
select from this very big pool of reviewers, you select the ones who are actually more expert than other.
Yeah.
Okay, we are out of
Yeah,
time, but do you have enough to work here, Tatiana? Um,
absolutely. Thanks.
can you encode this into issues and then I don't know, bring someone in to maybe
Yeah,
Alex if you're
yeah, I
interested on
will.
picking it.
Yeah, I will bring this what we just talked in a more
Okay,
issue and add them to the epic and yeah,
okay,
all contribution. I also like probably post on the stewardship group, so maybe more people can
awesome.
help.
Appreciate the discussion. This was a good one. It's nice to look from eagle's eye a little bit, like step back and then look at things.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Have a good one.
Hey.
Yeah.